Hello, this is Mr. Ricks, your advisor at North Carolina Central University. I hope you're having a great summer, and I do need to talk with you just for a moment about a very important topic. You should have received an email from me earlier because your GPA is below a 2.0. You may remember the academic progression policy at North Carolina Central says that you must maintain a 2.0 GPA or higher. So at this point, you have a couple of options to return to NCCU. The first thing that you can do is to come to second summer session. Second summer session starts July 1st. If you are financially able to come to second summer session, please contact me to let me know and I can help you get registered for courses. If second summer session is not an option for you, then you will need to complete the academic appeals process in order to return to NCCU in the fall. And attached to this email is a copy of the Summer and Fall 2014 Academic Appeal Form. Here you see a copy of it on your screen. This document is 2 pages long, and I just want to review this for you now to hopefully answer any questions that you may have. So you can type your information into the fields here in this form. You can select your classification, and here you would select whether you are doing an academic appeal or the option here for financial aid appeal. For our purposes, this would be an academic dismissal appeal. So you can put an X there to show that that's what you're planning to do. In addition to this form, you see here that it's asking for a letter of explanation. Each appeal must have a tight letter explaining what happened to cause your GPA to be below a 2.0. I'm going to open up a sample here of an outline of a letter. Our dean's name is Dr. Wooden, and he reviews all appeal letters individually. Your letter should do 2 important things. The first thing that it should do is to explain why your GPA is below a 2.0. Here you're going to type what happened, if there were any circumstances that caused you to be below a 2.0 and to not be able to do well in class, you will list that here. Also, it's important that you explain what happened for each semester that you got below a 2.0. So if the fall and the spring you were below a 2.0, please be sure to mention what happened in both of those semesters. Remember that any extenuating circumstances that caused your GPA to drop is going to be required to be supported by documentation. I'll show you some examples of that here in a moment. The second major thing that needs to be in your typed appeal letter is you need to be able to explain what will happen if the dean does allow you to come back to NCCU. What this means is list the things that you plan to do, that you can do to help your GPA. Another important thing that would be helpful here is if you had extenuating circumstances that caused your GPA to drop, that caused you not to do well in classes, explain here why those circumstances are no longer a problem. That is a very important part of the appeal. So those 2 things are important for you to include in your letter that should accompany your academic appeal. The second thing that you need to include here is official documentation. Any documentation that can support the existence of circumstances that you described in your letter, things that caused you not to do well in school. At the bottom of the first page, there is a chart that explains some examples of extenuating circumstances. For example, medical circumstances, you could submit a statement from your physician or from a therapist or counselor on their letterhead, just simply stating that you were a patient and that you were seen at different times, and they would need to put the dates there. Another example that could occur would if maybe there was a death of someone close to you. An example of documentation for that could be an obituary or a funeral program. Read through these. There are lots of things here that could be possibilities. These are not the only circumstances that could be approved, so don't think that. These are just some of the common ones that we wanted to put on the form so that you could see what they are. If you have questions about your circumstance, feel free to email me if you would like to talk about yours individually. But here are just some examples of some documents that could support your letter. Number 3 here, it says a graduation plan for juniors and seniors. You don't have to do anything for that one. Freshmen and sophomores can skip number 3 on this form. All right, second page here is going to give you some more information, talks about financial aid, and it explains kind of what the financial aid office would be requiring. This year we're using the same form as financial aid, so that's why they have their information listed here. And the last thing is that you would sign this statement saying that you understand and that you are saying that everything that you submitted in your letter and your documentation is true and is accurate. You understand that the appeal decision is made differently than the financial aid appeal decision, and also you understand that you could be asked for more information after you submit your letter. If the dean's office decides they need a little bit more supporting documentation, they could request that for you. So you can sign here. If you're doing this and it would be easier for you to email, you are able to type your signature here and date. This last box is for official use only, so that's you would leave blank. Okay, so here's the form. It is attached to the email that you are watching this video from, the same email. I wanted to give you some important information. There are 2 ways to get this appeal sent in. It needs to be sent to your advisor, which is me, at the fax number here, 919-530-6655. If you fax it, please be sure to put on the front page, "Attention, Mr. Ricks." Several people use the same fax here, and I want to make sure that your appeal gets to me in a timely manner so we can go ahead and have it submitted. Again, you can email the appeal, the typed letter, and the documentation. If you're able to scan the documentation and email it, you can do that at jricks2@nccu.edu. Again, I know this sounds like I'm repeating it a lot, but I want to make sure you remember the 3 things you need to send in are the academic appeal form, the typed letter explaining what happened and how things are going to improve, and documentation that supports what happened. For the fall semester, appeals have to be submitted in our office by August 15th at 5 p.m. That is a very firm deadline. I really hope that you can get this sent in much earlier than that so we can go ahead and submit it and get a decision back from the dean so we know kind of how to plan. But if you're going to be late submitting your appeal, this is the absolute latest that you can send it in. This is the Friday before classes start on Monday. If you have any questions, please call me at 919-530-5409 or send me an email, and I'll be glad to help you through this appeal process. I look forward to receiving your appeal, and I hope that you do return to North Carolina Central in the fall semester. Please enjoy the rest of your summer, and I'll see you soon. Take care.